Oftentimes when I meet foreign trained lawyers and I talk to them, I get this impression that they think that I always had this, I guess I always had my life together and this process went smoother, and it was just that you came in and you became a lawyer and that was it. But that is actually not true. And I think that there were more moments in my lawyer licensing journey where I wanted to give up than keep trying. And I think it's very common because a lot of my friends felt the same way, and a lot of times we needed each other's support to get going. But there were many times in my lawyer licensing journey where I felt that maybe I shouldn't do this, or is it really worth it, or should I just stop trying and get any other job that I can get at this time and start making money and then moving on with my life. So I would like to share a few of the moments where I felt like I don't want to do this, but I ended up putting my head down and moving forward. Just so that if you're in that situation, know that you're not alone. So for those of you who don't know, I did the LLM program at Osgood from International Business Law. And I didn't use that program to write my NCA courses. So I didn't take any NCA courses. Why I didn't do that, I've already talked about that in my previous videos. I will link that video somewhere here if you want to check it out. Now, when I was at the LLM program, I really enjoyed the program. I had friends, I had a circle, I was going out, there were many school events, and I never felt like I was alone studying or working or writing an essay or anything like that. But when I started writing my NCA exams, I felt quite lonely because I was studying on my own. A lot of my other friends had either done their NCA exams or didn't want to do them. So when I was writing these NCA exams, especially when I was preparing for the courses, I took a lot of the courses all together. At that point, I really wanted to sort of give up because I thought to myself, I can't see the finish line right now, so what's the point? And it was just hard studying on your own when you already did the master's program. Now you're studying for something else. And, a lot of my friends who were either back home were working and making money and traveling, and yet I was here writing another exam and another exam. So when I was preparing for these NCA exams, I felt like giving up every single day that I went to the library and I was studying. I always used to think to myself, do I really want to do this or not? But I ended up taking the exams, and when I passed these exams, I felt good. I felt like, okay, like this seems a lot more achievable now. And I'm glad I wrote them. The second point when I felt like giving up was this weird state that you're in when you're done your NCA exams and you don't know if you're going to find articling or not, and whether I should do the law practice program. I did end up getting 2 articling positions. One was actually almost unpaid, and the second one was at this firm. It was a general practice firm, which I didn't want to take. So you're in this weird limbo where you're like, will I ever be able to get this article? Am I ever going to be able to article, or am I ever going to be able to complete the law practice program? And that phase when you complete the NCA exams and you're very happy that you finally completed these exams, but now you have to worry about the next step, which is articling. So at that point too, it was more of like, I work so hard, but now there's this other step and I don't know if I'm gonna get it or not get it. What should I do? That feeling of uncertainty was very demotivating. And oftentimes I I would go to these interviews, the same thing. You put in a lot of effort, you dress up, you go, and then you don't get a call back. Those were times where I would just be like, when nobody wants to hire me, then should I be really doing this or should I not be really doing this? But now that I'm licensed and I've practiced for 2 years, it's anything in life. It's you have to try, and you're gonna face more rejection than acceptances. But I think that that time was very crucial. And if somebody's there and they're thinking, well, I'm not able to find articling or I'm not able to get a job or anything like that, it's a matter of time when things will work out for you. During this last moment where I felt like I don't want to do this is oftentimes when I would complete one step of the lawyer licensing process, there's another step that was required, and the other step had fees, and NCA exams, you have to pay a fee. Then you're articling. Then once you article, and then you have to pay fees for the bar exams. You have to pay fees for the materials. Once you write these exams, then you have to pay fees to be licensed. So oftentimes when I would get these bills or fee payments, I would always think to myself that I'm paying this much money, not knowing if I'm going to get a job or when am I going to get a job, and am I even going to pay this back? And I actually graduated during COVID. I got called in 2020. So it was a lot of uncertainty at that time. But every time I'd get these bills that I had to pay, oftentimes I wondered, would I be able to make that money back, or will I be able to pay all of this back and also pay my loans, or all of that stress and anxiety and not knowing what the future holds. Oftentimes I felt like giving up. But now that I'm on the other side, I think that I'm glad that I didn't give up, and you know, it's I'm happy that I didn't, and I sort of put my head down and went ahead with it. But when people share their stories, for example, when you meet people, and me too, like for example, if I would meet a lawyer who is 10 years, 12 years experience, sometimes when I meet them, I may think that they always knew what they were doing, but there was a time when they didn't, and they had their doubts too. So if you're in that journey where you're struggling, just know that your time will come too.